Hello everyone, I pray you're all well. You're welcome to today's lecture on facilitating participatory processes. Now we will start by defining facilitation. So we see that the word facilitation comes from a Latin word facile, which means to make easy. So facilitation is to help make group work easy or any activity easier. Facilitation is the act of making participation easier by creating an environment in which mutual analysis and learning can take place. We also see that facilitation is concerned with content, process, and the management of emotions. Okay, and we also see that facilitation makes it easier to reach the agreed destination or decision or whatever the objective is for that particular process or activity. So now let's look at who a facilitator is. We see that a facilitator is a person who helps a group of people to work together to better understand their common objectives and plan how to achieve these objectives during meetings or activities or processes. Facilitators support participatory processes, therefore. A facilitator is neither a content expert nor a lecturer or teacher. So your role is not to lecture or to teach these people, but you're only making the environment or the situation easy for them to discuss their issues, to come up with their objectives and plan how they are going to achieve these objectives. We also see that the facilitator may at times present new information, but his or her key role is to help the group experience and learn together. So as a facilitator, you could be knowing something, or you could have more factual information which you can from time to time tell the team so that they are able to actually discuss and make more wiser decisions than they could make without that information. We also see that a facilitator enables participants to assume responsibility and to take the lead. So you sit at the back as a facilitator and let the participants take responsibility. They are the ones to present, they are the ones to come up with a program, almost everything that is either in the meeting or in a given activity of the community. We also see that the facilitator guides the group towards its own destination. We also see that the facilitator remains neutral, so cannot make choices for people, but rather can give everyone an opportunity to make their own choice. And we also see that the facilitator addresses the journey rather than the destination. So your role is not to tell this team of farmers or team of community members where they should actually be, but you facilitate the process, or you guide them through the journey or the process so that they're actually able to decide for themselves where they want to reach and how they want to reach there and which resources they require to reach that particular destination. Now, during facilitation, there are values that we have to base on. The first one is participatory democracy. So there should be democracy in the decisions that are made by this particular team. So as a facilitator, I should ensure that in decision making there is always democracy. Then personal responsibility. You should ensure that everyone or every participant is responsible for the choices they make in these sessions. Then you should also ensure that there is cooperation among the team members. You should also ensure that there is honesty and transparency. So starting from you as a facilitator, you should be honest and transparent so that the other people are also able to trust you and they are also able to trust one another during the process. You should also ensure that there is fairness for everyone. So everyone should at least be given a fair hearing during the process of decision making and during the discussions. Then there should also be respect for diversity. So remember, when we are dealing with communities, we have people from different religions, we have people of different origins, we have people from different ethnicity, we have different age groups. So there should be respect for diversity in these groups, and that is when we will be able to ensure that the ultimate decisions that are made by the team are actually not going to oppress everyone or anyone in this community. There should also be a will to learn. So both the facilitator and the team that is being facilitated should be willing to learn from each other in this process. So now let's look at the characteristics of a good facilitator. The first one is that this person listens more than talking, even if he or she knows the answer to the question raised. So you should give a chance to these people to tease out answers from themselves. It's not just a matter of you giving the answer. This is mainly to ensure that this team of people actually own their answers, they own their decisions, and they are able to feel comfortable throughout the process. Then the facilitator also keeps the group focused on the task. So a good facilitator ensures that the team is focused. You have to keep on ensuring that everyone is on board, and whatever that is being done is actually on track to ensure that the objective of this particular meeting is met. Then being flexible, hence adapting to various learning styles. As a good facilitator, one should ensure that depending on the community they go in, they are able to be flexible or to adapt to different styles and different environments. If you go into a place where you don't have a chalkboard or a whiteboard marker, you should be able to innovatively decide other ways of ensuring that people are able to view what is discussed. Maybe you can come up with flip charts, you can come up with ideas of using manila papers or any other tool. We also see that a good facilitator protects members of each group from attack by others, and we see this mostly when we are having group presentations. One group may choose to attack the other group so aggressively. So in such an instance, a facilitator or a good facilitator is supposed to protect the members of a group that is being more oppressed. Then a good facilitator is also supposed to be gender and culture sensitive. Okay, you should not do things which are going to offend a given culture or a given religion or people who are either men or women. So you should always be sensitive about such issues. We also see that a good facilitator helps keep the group within the time constraints. So you're supposed to be there as a timekeeper, ensure that people are doing all activities in the time that has been planned for those particular activities. If it is group work, you're supposed to ensure that the group work is done within the given time, and then presentations take place, because remember, the community members are people who have other responsibilities. So if you've planned the activity to be done in 2 hours, you should ensure that the group work is done on time, the presentations are done on time, the plenary discussions are also done on time. I will also see that a good facilitator energizes a group or slows it down as needed. Okay, we also see that a good facilitator recaps occasionally to help groups make connections between sessions. For example, if we have a morning session, then a tea break, after the tea break, a good facilitator should be able to recap and summarize what was in session 1 so that people are always on track and they are able to make linkages between the sessions. A good facilitator also encourages everyone to participate, while remembering that some may talk only in small groups and others may talk constantly but may be contributing little. Okay, so you're supposed to encourage everyone to participate. Ensure that those who are over talkative are limited, so that even those who are quiet or those who are not very confident are given a chance to air out their views. So what are the skills that are desired of a facilitator? 1, facilitator should be a good planner, so you should have planning skills. Then a facilitator should listen, should be a good listener, so that they try to clarify and help organize information. So you listen to everyone and then you're able to conceptualize and then organize this information so that everyone is supposed to or is able to get a take-home message. A good facilitator or a facilitator should be flexible, so you should be able to handle multiple tasks or be able to improvise in situations where certain issues don't come up the way you expected or planned. The other skill is encouraging participation. You should ensure that you involve everyone, get different activities that can involve even those people who are not able to ably speak, come up with games, encourage people to be open, put an environment that makes everyone actually comfortable. Then the other skill is managing, and we see that a facilitator guides a group through the program and sets limits, encourages ground rules, provides models and checks on progress and reactions. So you should be a good manager. Ensure that you manage time, ensure that you manage these groups, ensure that if the team has come up with rules, you ensure that these rules are adhered to so that the activities are done and finished on time and the objectives of these particular activities are reached. Then the other skill is questioning. So you should be having the ability to question and encourage questions throughout the process. Then the other skill is promoting ownership. You should help the group to take responsibility of their own work and help them to reflect on necessary follow-up work. Okay, for example, if we are in a farmer field school, you should ensure that the team takes responsibility of these plots. They weed them on time, they apply the fertilizers, they do whatever they are supposed to do as they have planned, and then they also follow up on their activities and plan well. So that is the role of the facilitator. Make them own these issues or these activities or these projects, so that even when you exit as a project, these people are able to continue with what was started. The instances where you find probably a project promoting maybe given varieties and farmers plant the crop but they never even go back to weed until the facilitator comes back. That is when they remember to get the implements so that they can weed the plots. Then a good facilitator or facilitator should have rapport building skills. Okay, so that someone or the the team is able to move along with the facilitator. We see that you should be able to demonstrate responsiveness and react to people or people's emotions or contributions with sensitivity. Okay, you watch their body language, you look them in the eye when they are speaking, and then help create relationships within the groups that you have created or within the group that you're working with. And then the other skill is self-awareness. As a facilitator, you should be able to examine your behavior and learn from mistakes. Okay, in case there are situations where you do not have all the information required, or you have a limitation in knowledge, you should be open about it, because you're not supposed to be a subject specialist. You're actually there to learn from one another. Then the other skill is managing conflict. As a facilitator, you should encourage the group to handle conflicts constructively and help them come up with consensus. When such small wrangles start up in a group, you should be able, as a facilitator, to curb them down before they disorganize the entire project. Then the other skill is presenting information. As a facilitator, you should always be able to use clear and concise language. You can also use visual aids or graphical materials or other oral methods. Basically, in summary, you should be a good communicator, so that the information you give to this group or to these groups of people is understood the way it is meant to be understood. Then the core roles of a facilitator are: 1, equalizing participation, and here you ensure that everyone in the group participates, keeping the group focused on the subject. There are people who always want to bring in jokes and joke around, so you should be able to ensure that that doesn't distract people from what is supposed to be done. You're in the field, you're supposed to be planting, and someone brings up something, everyone starts discussing, and they forget that they were there actually to do planting as a group. So always keep the group focused. The other role is clarifying and interpreting. In cases where what is being discussed is not clear, as a facilitator, you should come in and clarify. If it is in a different language that the community doesn't understand, you should also be in position to interpret. The other issue is summarizing issues. For example, we said after breaks, you should be able to do a recap, so that people are always able to remember what has been discussed and then make linkages with the next sessions or activities. The other one is pacemaking, or keeping the agenda moving. You're supposed to ensure that people are not so slow or not so fast, depending on the time frame of that particular activity. Then the other one is processing, or keeping the group working together. Ensure that everyone is participating or doing something in the group, not letting only one individual in the group do all the work. So let everyone work on something, or let everyone have a role in the group to play. Then responding to what the group wants. Because there are questions that are not clear, as a specialist, you should be able to advise them, or to respond, or to give opinions, or to ensure that they have all the materials that they require. Then encouraging evaluation. You should also ensure or encourage the members to evaluate sessions, to evaluate activities and performance, so that they are able to forge a way forward of improving the next activities. Then as a facilitator, you should also ensure that the conflicts that arise are sorted, so that they don't interfere with progressive activities of the project. Then overall, you're supposed to guide the entire process. Okay, so thank you so much for listening, and in case you have any questions, you can raise them so that we discuss them in our next virtual class. May God bless you.